Hello guys, welcome back. And in this video, we are going to explore about AWS security, the secret Santa, and we are going to learn the basics of AWS enumeration. And let's begin, right? We have the story, and you have to start the virtual machine today, and you have a split screen available. I already started that. You just don't need to connect to OpenVPN or start your attack box today. So, anyways, I just started that. You have to start from the start menu of start option available there. So once you started, you can just get to see that using this command. Now we can see this is our terminal and this is our story, right? So yeah, you can just read that by yourself. And basically, I think let me first try to open the terminal, paste it that. This thing. So let me first expand that so that you'll be able to see things properly. So that's what I think is best. Okay. Okay. Now we can see that the credentials for accessing these will be available in this particular directory. So which you can access by catting. Like you can just use the cat command, then paste the command content that you copied in the clipboard. Like cat, and here it is. So we have the access key and a secret access key that is available. So yeah, we can just issue this command. Once we issue this command, you will be able to get some informations like this. So these are the informations that you will be able to get, and from there you will be able to get the user ID, account, and ARN. And we just need to find the account. That seems to be the answer to that question. Pasting that there. And here it is. We were able to get the user ID, account, and ARN. So this is the account. So yeah, let's answer this. That's it. Now we are going to learn about IAM, like Identity and Access Management, what that is. The overview is there. Just you can just read that by yourself, and you'll be able to see the users. A user represents a single entity in AWS. Each user has a set of credentials such as passwords or access keys that can be used to access resources. Furthermore, permissions can be granted at a user level, defining the level of user might have. And you'll be able to see about IAM groups. Multiple users can be combined into a group, right? So about roles, an IAM role is a temporary identity that can be assumed by a user as well as by services or external accounts to get certain permissions. That's about roles. You can just read. I highly recommend you to read the entire contents by yourself. So that's the reason why I'm not going to read everything. Okay, so yeah, we have the policies like access provided to any user, group, or role is controlled through IAM policies. Right, a policy is a JSON format. Like the access, basically, the access provided by any user, group, or role is controlled through IAM policies. Right. So here is an example of a hypothetical policy that you will be able to see. From there, you do have version, statement, etc. Right. So yeah, what IAM command is used to describe the permissions to be assigned to a user or a group. It basically a policy. It's basically assigned to user group, right? So it's basically called policy, right? So the IAM component here is policy. And we can see we are moving to task 3 where we have practical things. Enumerating user permissions. We can just use this command to enumerate the users. Here it is. Here we can see the username and the user ID, ARN, and the date of create was shown here. You can just read that by yourself. And we can just enumerate the user policies by using these commands. So let's see what inline policies are assigned to Sir Carrot by running the following command to see the inline policies. So here the inline policy, the policy name is Sir Carrot policy. And maybe Sir Carrot have some policies that attach it to their account. We can just find out by running the following command. So let's try to use this command. Here it is. There will be nothing shown here. So, not much there. Perhaps we can check if Sir Karodpen is a part of a group. Let's run this following comment to see if he is in a part of a group. No, he is not in a part of a group. Looks like Sir Karodpen is not in a part of the group. Let's get back to inline policy. We found Sir Karodpen account. So basically, let's see that permissions this policy grants by running the following command. Replace the policy name with the actual policy name that you found. So let's try to use this command to get some information. And you have to replace the policy name with the policy that you found earlier. So here it is, the policy name is this, so we have to replace with the policy name that we found earlier. So the policy name that we found is Circle Bin policy. Let's replace that and paste it here. Yeah, we were able to get some of the informations, right? So let us press enter to see the informations, right? The resource, SID, etc. amount of informations are there, right? So what is the name of the policy assigned? So the policy is Circle Bin policy, which you will be able to get by issuing this command, right? Circle Bin policy is the name of the policy, right? So now let's move on to assuming roles. So we were able to list the roles by using this command. So let's use this command. Let me stop this using the control C. Think I have to copy this content correctly. This terminal seems to be the clipboard doesn't seem to be working great. So that's the bad thing that I found in TryHackMe Labs, even with the premium account. I don't know why, man. It's just got stuck. Let me open a new terminal. Here it worked. Like this is how you will be able to list the roles. The role name is bucket master, and some of the other information is here. So we can see to check inline policies, we can just run this command for the bucket master. So I think we can just press Control Z for that. Here it is. So the policy name is what it is showing. So we can see there is only one policy assigned to this role. So before checking that policy, let's see if there is any attached policies. So you can just see if there is any attached policies by using this command. Here there will be no attached policies. So yeah, looks like we only have inline policy assigned. Let's see what permissions we can get from the policy. So let's check for the permissions by issuing this command. Still the error came out. So unfortunately an error occurred. No such entity is what they are saying. So policy name is bucket master policy. Yeah, I just entered it incorrectly. Let me enter it correctly. Here it is. So here are the informations that we have. Let's press enter to see some of the informations. Right now we are at the end. You can just press Control Z to stop that. So looks like we have any inline policies like that. We can see some of the information. We can see that bucket master role can perform 3 different actions, right? The bucket master role. Here it is. Our bucket master role can perform 3 different actions, like list all my buckets, right? This is an action one, which will be in S3, right? And we can see it's about list buckets and get object. So that's something to note. And we can see assuming role. To gain privileges assigned by bucket master role, we need to assume it. We can use AWS STS to obtain the temporary credentials that enable us to assume this role. So let's use this command for that. This command will ask STS to the service in charge of AWS tokens to generate temporary set of credentials to assume the bucket master role. The temporary credentials will be referenced by the session name TBFC. You can set any name you want for the session. Let's run the command. So anyways, let's run this command. Here we can see we have the informations. So this the output will provide us the credentials we need to use. We need to assume this role, specifically the access ID, a secret key, session token. To be able to use this, run the following commands in the terminal before replacing the exact credentials that you received on the assume role. So we have to enter this correctly. Like we can just issue the command like export AWS key ID. And we can just enter the access key ID. Once that's done, now we can just use this command for secret key. Let me eliminate the useless gaps. So the main issue that I'm facing here is the terminal issue. So look at this. I'm not able to copy and paste properly. So that's basically the issue that I don't like. So we have the secret key. Let me paste that. And finally, we have to export the session token. I'm just copying that in the clipboard, eliminating the useless spaces, checking if it is working. Nothing is working. Yeah, now it's working. Now we can just copy and paste it here. And here is our session token. Pasting that. That's done. So after doing that, once we have done that, we can officially use the permission granted by bucket master role. To check if you have correctly assumed the role, you can once again run this command. So yeah, let's run this command. I'm not able to, yeah, now it does work. You can see it's about bucket master. Now we can see it's bucket master role is now changed to bucket master. Assumed role was now changed to bucket. This time it should appear, it should show you are using the bucket master role. Previously it doesn't show bucket master once we enter the command. Like we already entered this command in the first one, I think. So which will be here in the introduction, right? The caller ID, right? And we were able to get the account number and some other informations, and this seems to be Karot Ben, right? But now we can see it's bucket master. It's changed to bucket master. Yeah, that's something to note. So if it is changed correctly, then you will be able to answer the rest of the questions. Okay, that means the task 5. So anyways, let's answer this. Apart from the get object and list bucket, what other action can be taken by assuming the bucket master role? So we previously entered some commands, right? This command, right? For get role policy. So once you execute this command, you will be able to see that we have list all buckets, list all my buckets, right? That's the first one, and you do have list buckets, and you do have get objects. So apart from get object and list bucket, you do have list all my buckets, right? So that's something you need to answer here. So grabbing a file from S3. Before we continue, we need to know what exactly S3. So Amazon S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. It is an object storage service provided by Amazon Web Services that can store any type of objects such as images, documents, logs, and backup files. Companies often use S3 to store data for various reasons, such as reference images for their website, documents to be shared with clients, or files used by internal services for internal processing. Any object that is stored in S3 will be put into a bucket. You can think of a bucket as a directory where you can store files but in the cloud, right? So yeah, we can just list the contents from a bucket by issuing this command. So if in order to work this command, you have to watch this video till the end. If you do any mistakes, then you won't be able to get answer to these questions. Once I entered this, I was able to list the buckets, right? So sometimes if you are getting any permission denied or any kind of issues, that's because you just doesn't enter the previous comments properly in the terminal. So that's the reason. So that is why it is highly recommended to watch this video without skipping to get all the answers. Okay. So we can see the name here, he's Easter eggs, and the bunny website and the web file is the three names that we were able to get there. So there is one interesting bucket in there that references Easter. Let's check it out. So yeah, let's use this command. By issuing this command, we can just check for the Easter bucket. Okay, once you issue this command, you can just check the Easter secrets 123 145. We are just targeting this. And we were able to see there is a key here called cloud password.txt and groceries. The cloud password seems to be something useful, right? So we were able to get some ID and some other information. Let me press Control Z. And now we can just copy the files into the directory to our local machine. They might have secret password, secret message. So we can see the bucket, we selecting this bucket and the key cloud password.txt. We're just copying that. So by issuing this command, let's use this. Here it is. We can see that now when I enter ls, I can see the cloud password.txt was copied to our current directory. So now we can just get that. Here it is. We were able to get the flag. It's basically more like Sir Cloudbane. Yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you follow the steps correctly, then only you will be able to answer to these questions. If you don't follow this video, entire video, or if you do any mistakes on your own, then you won't be able to get the answer. If you get any permission denied or any kind of error, then I highly recommend you to restart the mission and watch this video properly and do whatever I'm doing. So that's pretty much about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.